Hello YouTube, and welcome to Battle Family Prep, where we cover everything hiking, camping, and of course prep. Today, it's all about prep. It's all about freeze-dried food. I was looking through a lot of the videos and a lot of the comments, and there was a lot of comments by a lot of people that were asking about freeze-dried food, recommending to get rid of everything and just go freeze-dried food. And, you know, I don't know. I think you need to be well-rounded. It's my personal opinion. Everything in this pantry down here that you see behind me, we come down and use on a daily basis. We have a pantry upstairs. When we're cooking stuff and we notice that we're running out upstairs, we come down and refill our pantry upstairs from down here. So any items that we're getting low on, oh, we took the last mayonnaise from downstairs. Well, we put it on our list, and that's where we restock all our stuff is down here. In our freezer over here, all of our rice and beans that are over in this area. Everything that runs out up there, we come and refill from down here. So, I mean, with that being said, I don't think that, don't get me wrong, these things last 25 years. These are some of the different brands that I have. We like a lot of the different brands, and there's certain stuff that we buy from this company, certain stuff we buy from this company. And is what we've done is, you don't have to buy the big cans. A lot of these companies have the littler, smaller size. I'm not sure about nutrient survival, but a lot of this stuff you can get in a smaller container and try it. See if it's something you like. Don't run out and get a whole bunch of this stuff and then realize that you can't eat any of it. But with freeze-dried food, here comes another problem. Let's say you're out of electricity and then you find yourself without water. Well, all this freeze-dried food requires water to make it all. So, on the back of these cans, nutrient survival, it says there's 10 servings per this deal, and then it tells you how much water, if you're doing 4 servings, you need 4 cups of the product and 3 cups of water. So if you do how many servings are in the canister, and then add that up and see how much water it takes per canister of food that you have, that's how much water you need to be storing. Not only do you need water for the people in your household to live every day, you've got to stock enough water to make all the food that you've stocked. Water takes up a lot of room, guys. I have a couple of 100 gallons over here, and the 55-gallon drums that hold 55 gallons of water, they're not small either, guys. It's a 55-gallon blue jug like that. So yes, this has got a 25-year shelf life. This is great. This has got a long shelf life. And every one of these tells you how much water it takes to rehydrate this. So you got your spinach flakes. We've got some potato slices. Let's see here. What do we got here? Chopped onions. Oh, let me face that right. Chopped onions. I can't remember what this. Oh, and broccoli soup. All this stuff, you have to have water to make it. We also have a lot of the Mountain House. I love taking these camping, by the way, or hiking. You know what I mean? These are supposedly serving size of 2, but when I'm out hiking, I eat this whole bag, guys. I burn a lot of calories, burn a lot of energy. I have tons of these. Tons. So, I keep them down here, and whenever I'm going to go hiking, I make up my little bag of my freeze-dried food, and that's what I take. I also get freeze-dried food from Patriot Supply, or Patriot Pantry. I believe it's Patriot Supply. But this is an ammo can. This is like 1 week's of food. And everything in here is stored up, and it tells you, how much water you need to make it all. But another thing that I've seen is some of these, there's Traveler Stew and stuff in there. And whenever you go to make that stuff, guys, just make it by the directions that it says. Don't add any seasoning to it or anything else. Just cook it like it says and try it. And then if you want to add some salt and pepper, because that stuff already has it in there, you may end up with a salty mess that you cannot eat. Or it may just be so over seasoned that you just can't eat it. So anytime you're going to do anything that is biscuits and gravy, scrambled eggs, you got beef stroganoff and noodles, just add the water, cook it, do it like it's supposed to, and then if you need to add something, add it to it after it's done. I've seen a lot of people get the stuff from Patriot Supply and make the traveler stew and add their seasonings to it before they've tried it and end up just ruining it. So I would just recommend cooking the stuff that you order, figuring out, taking a list, does everyone like this, does everyone like that, checking that stuff off and making a list of the ones, and then slowly, because these are not cheap, guys, and we really like the Nutrient Survival because they've packed it full of all kinds of ingredients. Let me get a little closer to the camera here. I mean, it is packed full of vitamins. Now, Nutrient Survival, they take their stuff and then they add to it. They add vitamins. It's rich in vitamins so that you're getting everything that you need to get. And this stuff here is just what it is. This is just spinach flake. It's just freeze-dried, and that's it. There's nothing added to it. Whereas the Nutrient Survival, they're adding nutrients to it. So, with that being said, anytime you're doing a freeze-dried food or you're thinking, oh man, that's an easy way to stock up a lot of food, this stuff is not cheap, guys. Yes, it's got a great shelf life, but I mean, if you're tight on money, this is probably not going to be the best option to go out of for your buck, because you're not going to be able to afford large quantities of it, things like that. So, I mean, if you're on a budget, like most of us are, and when you go to the grocery store, things are not cheap. I recommend if you're going out and you're getting green beans and oh, well, you know what? We go through 4 cans of green beans ever so often. Buy 2 extra. Start a little deal off to the side and add those 2 cans. The next time you go grocery shopping and you're getting some other veggies, grab 2 extra cans. And kind of set those to the side and just fill your pantry until you get you something built where it's nice and it's easy to keep up with, and to where you're just refilling this and not so much your weekly deal. It'll come in handy. My wife had wanted to go and pursue a new career opportunity, and she did that. Well, it's like you get paid every 2 weeks. They're holding back the first week's check. Okay, so that's 4 weeks without pay. Did we worry about groceries? No, not at all. We did not. For those 4 weeks, we did not go to the grocery store and we did not shop. We paid our normal bills. We came down here and ate out of the pantry. That's those little times that this pantry will come in so handy and will be so helpful. It's not just about preparing for natural disasters, winter ice storms. Shout out to my people in Oklahoma and Texas. Y'all know what I'm talking about when we're talking about ice storms. Not being able to get out and go to the grocery store, or just not willing to go out and try to total out your vehicle to get to the grocery store. It's nice to have this. But there's also the unforeseen: job loss, changes of income, spouse being sick, spouse changing a job and having to wait on that first check. There's multiple reasons that this right here can help every single person out there. I mean, it's just something that if you put the time and a little bit of the effort in, and I'm not saying run out and buy 20 cans of green beans today. I'm not saying that, and don't buy anything except the normal stuff you buy. Start off small. You want a little bit of rice. If you eat rice, buy you a little bit bigger bag. You don't have to put it in these 5-gallon buckets like I do. I probably got 20 gallons worth of, probably 4 5-gallon buckets full of rice. We eat a lot of rice, guys. We eat rice when we eat chili. We eat a lot of power bowls with rice and beans, pinto beans, black beans, and pico de gallo on top. I mean, and that's what we call a power bowl to us. We eat a lot of that stuff. But you can start out small. You can buy these little buckets, and we don't store up. I mean, this is elbow macaroni, but our black beans and our pinto beans are not in buckets bigger than this. Our rice is, because we eat a ton of it. We're not adding black beans to every meal. Rice is kind of something that you can add to almost every meal. I mean, we make cabbage and Polish sausage. We put it on a bed of rice. So it makes sense to us to have the rice. You want to try something? Try a challenge me and my wife tried. So let's just say we're going to fast. Let's see if we can really just no meat, no dairy, no bread, no yeast. So what's that leave you with? Quinoa, rice, beans, and I'm going to tell you, you eat about 20 days of that, and you're going to be wishing that you had some protein on the shelf. I'm just telling you. If you're prepping, try to just see what you can eat off your preps and see, oh my gosh, we won't make it very long. We got to get something else in here, because once you eat that day after day after day, you're going to realize that it's not that great. I mean, we're big rice people, and we tried fasting and just eating beans and rice and quinoa and things like that, and we realized that that's not going to cut it. The protein has to be very good, and you can get dehydrated beef, chicken. You can get all that stuff from Augustin Farms. They all sell that stuff, and we have we've canned ourselves, canned beef and things like that, but we buy cans of roast beef, we buy canned chicken and things like that, and we come up with a list, and my wife's constantly adding to that list of meals that she can make by just coming down here and getting stuff out of here. Canned chicken, making a homemade chicken noodle soup, making, you name it. I wish I would have brought her list down. But there's a list of things, of full meals, that we can go up there and grab that list, come down and grab the items off this shelf, and it's all canned. It's all got huge shelf lives, and go upstairs and make a full meal, and no one's going to complain about it. But like I said, you got to have a starting point, and you're not going to start out like this. What you see behind me is years of work and figuring out what we liked, what we didn't like. Oh, we got to go donate that. This is getting close. Let's give it away. We haven't touched it in a year. Do we really need it? Run it down to the, local mission and give it to the homeless people and things like that. But you'll go through. But if you're eating it and you're noticing it, it's on your grocery list all the time. Start buying 1 or 2 cans here and there and setting it aside. Get you a little separate area, maybe even a cardboard box. Start out small and put those extra cans in there. And then you'll realize, oh, that box is full. We may, get you another box. You get up to 4 or 5 boxes, maybe you ought to buy you a shelf. We didn't start out with all these shelves. 1 shelf. Then, 2 shelves. Then 3, then 4. Then a smaller shelf. Shelves over here. Now we're talking about putting some shelves in this way. I mean, and not everyone can run out. We buy this stuff because we can't run out and buy us a freeze dry machine. I can't. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to. I eventually want to save up and get one. I mean, they're $3,000. You got to run it all night. What's that gonna do to my electric bill? I mean, it may take 24 hours to freeze dry spinach flakes. I don't know how long it takes. So how long does that freeze dryer take? How long is it on my electric bill? Yeah, you can make spaghetti, you can make lasagna, throw it in there, freeze dry it, and then it's just like this Mountain House food where you just add water to it and instantly you got a meal. But if you're like me, you can't, I mean, that's 3 times as much as my first car was. I mean, $3,000 for a freeze dry machine is pretty expensive, guys. I know these are $10. You know what I mean? But this is convenient for me when I go hiking. $10 to me, you know, it's not that bad. And I usually try to find these on sale, and I'll find them for $7, $8, you know, and then I'll buy enough for 3 meals throughout the day, and then I'll go camping, you know. And if you're going camping on a 3-day, 4-day hike, that's a lot of stuff you got to pack up. A lot of weight added to your hike, and it's a lot easier to do the dehydrated or freeze-dried food because it weighs a lot less. You know, with that being said, like dehydrator, that's a good way to start. You know, watch videos, learn how to dehydrate food. You can dehydrate eggs, so you can go out and buy a couple of extra dozen eggs and bring those home and crack them and make scrambled, like you're making scrambled eggs, blend them all together and pour them on your sheets. Put those in your dehydrator and dehydrate them until they're dry, and then you can put those in a jar and seal it up, and you've got eggs. You know, you just got to remember your ratio. 1 spoonful of eggs, 2 spoonfuls of water. Let it rehydrate 5-10 minutes, and then throw it in a pan and skillet fry it like you would scrambled eggs. So there's a lot of, and a dehydrator is a lot cheaper than a freeze dryer, but you're not going to be able to do all the foods that you can freeze dry in a dehydrator. I believe beef, if you do it in you have to brown up the meat first, get all the fat off of it, you know, get it all somewhat absorbed, put it in your dehydrator, and then you dehydrate it and you put it in a jar. It's only good for 3 months. Unless you put it in your freezer. You know, what's the point of taking the time to dehydrate it and putting it in a jar if you're going to put it in your freezer? Just leave the meat in your freezer and cook it when it's ready. Have a backup plan for your freezer. You know, have a battery backup. Something you can plug your freezer and keep it real. But the dehydrated food, or freeze-dried food, I'm sorry, is a good option. Don't get me wrong. But you know, all my freeze-dried, you can't see it, is over here in the corner. There's another shelf beyond that is full of freeze-dried food. And I cannot see just going to this, because I'm going to have a room this size full of water to make it all. And these water jugs are not cheap, guys. I think you can find a 55-gallon drum on the Ready store. Right now, I had seen it the other day on sale for $199, which I'm going to be getting me 1 or 2 of those. I'm just waiting and saving up some money, make sure I get the money I need to get it. It was $100 off. So what? They're almost $300 for a 55-gallon drum of water that you got to have to support the amount of freeze-dried food that you got. So, I mean, if you're dehydrating your freeze-dried food, always keep in mind, please remember, you got to have water. You got to have water. So on the back of this, just take how many servings are in the container, how much water you need per container or serving, add that up. That's how much water you need to make this whole can, number 10 can of food. So then you times that up times every can you've got, and figure out how many gallons of water you need just to make your food. Not for drinking, not for washing your hands, not for hygiene at all. Just to make your food. So you got to have that set aside separate from your normal drinking, washing, hygiene water. You know, you got to have so much water per person per day. So that's just something to keep in mind. Yes, this stuff is great. I buy it myself. I try to catch it on sale. I've gone to every one of these websites. I sign up for their emails. They email when stuff's on sale. If the stuff is on sale, it's something that we have bought in the past, I know what we like, I'll pick some up. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to fully stock my pantry on this stuff, guys. I can't fill up every bathtub in my house in preparation for the water going out. Oh yeah, I have a hot tub. It's got 375 gallons of water in it. You want to go out there and grab that to make food? I mean, you could. If you were in a bind, you could boil it first, I guess. Make sure it was safe. No, I want to store clean drinking water, good drinking water to make this food. And if you're interested in getting water jugs, I get all mine from the Ready Store. None of my videos are sponsored by any of these people. I have to buy all this stuff with my own money. But I do find them, and I sign up for their stuff, and they'll send me emails when these jugs are on sale, and I'll buy some. And I just always make sure that when you're buying it, that it comes with Ion. Ion is a liquid drops. It's ION, and it's water treatment. And this will make your water to where you can store it up to, I believe, 7 years. And it tells you on the bottle how much to add per gallon of water, so you can figure out what you need to add to your 5-gallon jugs or your 55-gallon tall barrels. But when I go to the Ready Store and I'm buying these jugs, most of them come with the Ion. It'll say included Ion water treatment drops and things like that. But I notice whenever you buy the 55-gallon drums, they do not. So a couple of things. When you buy the 55-gallon drum, remember to get you a bung tool so you can tighten up the lids on it. And you may want to get you a pump that you can put down into the barrel to pump your water out, because you're not going to be leaning that over and pouring water out of it. These all, I believe I have 4 or 8 spigots. I only keep 4 spigots on 4 jugs, take them camping and things like that. But you have to buy the tool to undo the bungs on the 55-gallon drums, and it does not come with Ion. So you'd have to go over and add that to your cart separately. It's pretty reasonable. But like I said, just when you're thinking freeze-dried food, don't forget the water. You get this stuff home, it'll tell you, hey, you got to have this much water. You know what I mean? You got to bring this much water to a boil, add this much product. So think about it. Add up all the water you need per can, how many cans you need, and some of the cans are going to be a little bit different. This one here, this Southwest Melody, is going to be a little bit different on how much water it needs versus this Hearty Apple Cinnamon Oatmeal. I mean, so all 4 of these probably take a little bit different water. That's why I like to add up exactly what it takes per can, and then the exact same cans I can say, oh, it takes this much, and then I figure out how much this one takes, that one takes. My powdered milk, how much water do I need to make the big bag of powdered milk? How much water do I need to make the dehydrated eggs I've got? How much water do I need to make the whey milk, powdered whey milk that I've got stored up? So take that into consideration when you're going this route. I prefer to be well-rounded and have other items, canned items and things like that. And some of these other items also take water. I have Hungry Jack. I love those things. Shredded potatoes. They're hash browns. These are Hungry Jack. Here, I'll bring them over here to the counter. I love these things, guys. I love them. So you open this up, you fill it up to the line with boiling hot water, you wait 12 minutes, and I know this says serving size 7, but I'm the skinniest fat guy you'll ever meet. I can eat probably this whole thing. I make some scrambled eggs with sausage in there on top of these. Yeah, they're gone. But we have made these in for breakfast. You just add the water. I set the timer for 12 minutes, go about making my meat and stuff like that, and then I pour these in the skillet and fry them up. And I mean, we have hash browns and eggs and sausage for breakfast. These things are convenient. I don't have to shred the potatoes. I don't have to store the potatoes I've shredded in water to keep them from discolorating. None of that. I just pour in the water, wait 12 minutes, open the container, the water's all gone. I throw them in the frying pan and I make hash browns. So not only does my freeze-dried food take water, but I have other things that need water as well. So, as you can tell, I've got, from what you can see, is 4 jugs long, and it's 2 jugs high, and there's a row in the back. So there's, I believe, 16 jugs. 16 jugs here. There's another hall closet here. I believe that's where I'm going to put the other 55-gallon drums of water, just to make sure there's tons of water to make all the stuff that I need. But like I said, just when you're doing this stuff, just remember, freeze-dried is good, but you got to think about the water. When you're starting out prepping, I would say start out with the normal stuff that you buy. If you buy spaghetti, get you a container that you can put some spaghetti in. I mean, we have these containers here. I mean, as you can see, we need some more. We're running out of fettuccine. But when you go to get spaghetti, if you've got a kid like mine that could live off the stuff, you know, if you're going to buy 1 pack of spaghetti, why not buy 2? If you can, get 3. Take the other 2, you know, the one that you're going to make for dinner that night, get you one of these containers and put the other 2 in here. You know, next time you go, needing spaghetti noodles again, buy 3 again. Use the one for your meal that you're going to have on Wednesday night or whenever you're going to have it. Put the other 2 with the other 2 that you bought last time. I mean, you can store up quite a bit in here. I mean, laying down flat, it doesn't look like there's much in here, but there's probably 3 or 4 packs of fettuccine in here. So, like I said, just as you're going, you got to have a starting point, and you're not going to start off with this. You're not going to do it. I mean, I got to get some more of them canned shells. I love those things. You know, put the newest ones you bought up top, and they just kind of roll around, and you pull from the bottom, and they just keep rolling around. So you use the old ones first. You know, buy you a couple of extra packs. You know, if you're going down, you like beans. Going down, you buy you a bag of beans. Buy an extra one. It's not going to hurt. Get you a little bucket. You don't have to have these big 5-gallon buckets. Get you a little bucket. They come with the same Gamma Seal lids, or I believe that's what they're called. But I keep a lot of empty 5-gallon buckets over here. I get my food grade buckets from Tractor Supply, guys. I keep 4 or 5 of those. I keep the lids. I keep these lids around. These lids separate, you know, as a good storage. You know, you pop the ring on the bucket and then you can unscrew the lid to get access to your food. You know, I keep packs of oxygen absorbers. That way I don't have to order the stuff. I'm always ready to, you know, if I have to can something up. But these, oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to grab this bucket. But this bucket here, it has the same type lid. You know, same type lid. Got my oxygen absorbers in there. And this lid just unscrews and you can get in there and access your food without popping the rim off every single time. One thing is, you've seen how tight I tightened. I didn't bear down on it, because when you put oxygen absorbers in there, the last thing you want to see is having a 5-gallon bucket in between your legs trying to unscrew the lid, because that oxygen absorber it'll make that lid pretty tight. So I just tighten them down until they feel snug, and that's good enough, especially with the oxygen absorbers in there. And but like I said, I got to have water to make all this stuff. I got to have water. I've got it figured out how much water you need for every 5-gallon of bucket of rice I've got. I've got it figured out how much water I need for my beans. So whenever you're getting this stuff, remember water. Don't forget it. So that's about all I've got today, guys. If you got any more questions, and there was quite a few questions in the comments about how to get started, where to start. And I, like I said, guys, I didn't learn this overnight. There was a lot of failures along the way, a lot of learning, a lot of do's and don'ts. So if you've got any questions, and this is something that you're wanting to look into, you know, if you're wanting to make sure that you've got food for whenever things happen, job loss, weather, you know, anything, electricity outages, anything like that, just leave a comment, guys. You know, and if y'all want to see something specific in a video, please just leave it in the comment. I'll try to go over it the best I can. I'll tell you the things that I learned, how I failed at doing some things, because this is not something that you're just going to start and be perfect at it. There's going to be some learning, and if I failed at it, I mean, you might as well learn from me and save you $1 and have a head start doing it. Because whenever I started doing this, there wasn't a lot of stuff out there. You know, there is more stuff out there, and I would suggest that you educate yourself the best you can, figure out what's best for you. You got a little bit of extra money, or you find things that are on sale, go down and get those things and store them up. You know, we hit a lot of sales. My kid could live off spaghetti, like I said before. You know, sometimes our little local grocery store will have the cans of spaghetti sauce 10 for 10. We go down and buy 10 cans for $10. That's 10 meals for $10. I just got to have the noodles and the sides. So whenever we come across deals like that, we go down and we'll get, you know, 10 cans, and we've already got 10, so that now we're at 20, and we just rotate them through. So there's a lot of things. Signing up for these companies to get their email to see their sales ad whenever things go on sale. If you want to go this route, signing up for your local grocery store so that you get their sale ads emailed to you, that's another good route. There's different things that you could do that my wife does, which my wife will probably never be on camera to tell y'all. But if you have any questions, and she'll comment back, she comments back. Some of the stuff I can't answer. You know, someone commented about being insulin resistant. Well, I'm not. My wife is. So a lot of our eating habits are going to be changing. And once we get that figured out and figure out what we're going to change out here in our store, I will give another update of those items, because I know when she was searching, she couldn't find anything on it. So we'll do something about the foods that we're storing and prepping just for her insulin resistance, and we'll go from there. But like I said, any comments, any questions, anything like that, or anything that you would like to see in a video, especially over prepping. I'm waiting to get out to do some more hiking. There's a lot of snow on the ground here. Some of the trails that I was wanting to get to, the roads ain't clear enough to get there. I don't want to have to hike in to get to the hiking trail. So with that being said, guys, please just comment on the video. I answer all the comments people leave. I don't care if they're negative or if they're positive. If you've got something, oh, you're going about this wrong, please share. I am not the perfect prepper. I'm going to tell you that now. I'm continuing to learn and grow in it myself, and I'm just trying to pass on the information to y'all to help you do it. But don't run out. There's a lot of video. All you got to do is get freeze-dried food. Just stock it up. Buy as much as you can. Spend every dollar you got on it. Don't do that. You got to have water to do it. And water storage is not cheap, guys. The water is not on all the time. There's some circumstances, pipes freeze, electricity goes out. I mean, yeah, they always try to restore the power to the water systems first, but how long could that be? I used to live in Oklahoma. I remember going without electricity for 2 weeks. I mean, to heat our home, luckily we had a gas oven. We turned the oven on to 350 and cracked the door 2 inches to heat the house. So, but like I said, be well-rounded. There's nothing wrong with canned food. If you go out, there are some lists that will tell you how far you can go past the expiration date on food. Now, the expiration dates on food, that's for best taste and nutrients. So you are going to lose some nutrients over time on that food, but it's still going to be edible. I suggest going by those lists, not so much what's on the can. That's more of the, they're telling you, hey, this is going to taste the best by this date. That doesn't mean that it's going to be rotten and unedible. So there's a lot of good lists out there online. And like I said, just start out small and start storing up stuff that you know you're going to use. And always, there's nothing wrong with this stuff. I have it, so obviously there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you got to be able to store the water needed to make the stuff. And I like the stuff. It does have an excellent shelf life. This is more of a fallback. When we run out of canned goods, hey, you know what I mean? We got sliced potatoes down here of this stuff, and different greens, vegetables, and things like that. So with that being said, guys, if you like the video, please like, subscribe. There'll be more. Leave a comment. We'll make some videos about stuff you want to see about prepping and things of that. And as always, guys, stay safe. Thanks.